see here. Let's see. Are we live? Are we good? Yep, seems like Twitch is good. Right. Alright, chat's good. Just like this, move this over slightly. Alright. Seems pretty good so far. Just make sure everything's good. Okay. Alright, so let's do this again. I actually did Spiral earlier today and realized two things. Firstly, I had the wrong comment on the bottom in the overlay. I still had Whirlpool Moon listed, even though it's supposed to be Breezecall Moon, so my bad. And secondly, I was drinking something and it went down the wrong pipe, and I had to cough really badly, and it went into the wrong windpipe. So there was a horrible cough in the VOD. So I'm just gonna redo this entire thing, cause why not? So, oh, and I guess I didn't do this part either, because I had accidentally went into Spiral earlier before actually starting the stream. So let's do this properly. So, new Spiral Abyss. The blessing has changed over. Blessing is Breezecall Moon. When an active character triggers a swirl reaction on a nearby opponent, they will generate 4 energy for all characters in the party. This can be done every 3.5 seconds. So, once again, we are in the blessing. All the blessings will be Swirl related because of Kazuha and for this patch. So you'll see, I'm sure it'll change over next patch, but for now, Swirl characters such as Sucrose, Kazuha, and Venti are really strong in this current Abyss. Nothing too crazy, once again, as always. It's all just kind of the same stuff here. So, hi. So since I already kind of ran this entire floor before, I guess I can take the time and explain a little bit more and not screw up as much. So this time, we're doing this. So Kazuha is geared up, he's leveled up, he's not 90 yet, but I'm getting his friendship up right now, so he'll get XP as I'm using him in the overworld. That's why he's 89. Don't really feel the need to push a character to 90 if I'm just going to be having them in my active overworld party. While I was rolling for Kazuha, I did manage to get C1 Diluc, so he's level 89, he will be leveled up soon afterwards, or geared up. He literally has no artifacts because I had no reason to go into Scarlet Witch. Because I got Diluc, Yanfei, Rosaria, C6, and Jean, C0, during all my pulls. Oh, and I got another Qiqi constellation, so I guess that's not bad either. Alright, let's do this. Hopefully this time. Well, I've already done this, so it should, in theory, go a lot smoother. And I kind of already know all the blessings. So these two will be skill damage, which perfect for what we need right now. Gather them up. Xiao make quick work of them. ドゥドゥドゥ Alright, this is where Kazuha's gonna be real fun. Nice and easy. Realized this last time I was doing Spiral, but having a gatherer for Ningguang, like someone who can like Venti or Sucrose, is actually very strong for her, since especially if you have a C1, since she can do AoE damage, and since everything's grouped together, she can literally just rip them all apart very quickly. But then again, it's kind of overkill, because since my Ningguang currently does a lot of damage, so nice and easy. Alrighty. Alright, oops, not what I wanted. My bad. That was only a second chamber. Sorry, future me who has to add in the timestamps. But yeah, Kazuha's freaking nuts. It's definitely a spiral that's been aimed for, like, it's built for him, basically. Nothing wrong with that. Encourages players to roll on the quote-unquote meta characters, because they're strong. Also lines Mihoyo's pockets with more money, which is, I mean, as a business, that's probably a good idea. But I think if, as long as you kind of know what you're looking for parties and stuff, or like are good at judging like if a character is really worth it in the long run or not, you can get some pretty good characters now. I think especially when Genshin launched, a lot of the characters in the early parts of Genshin are going to be very strong, continuing on as the game updates and progresses. Oh, oops. This is where I wanted to exit. Like, for example, like, I think currently the meta in a lot of, like, the Asian servers is, well, Hu Tao is the newer character, but Ganyu and Xiao are considered like SS tier, like DPS characters. Same with Diluc is still up there, like the S or A bracket, and Qiqi as well, from what I remember. But yeah. Alright, this is the one where we do the same thing. But yeah. Let's see. Generally this blessing, the current like Abyss blessing, isn't really like, I don't know, it's not crazy in terms of like it's giving you extra damage or anything, but it's definitely very nice. Especially for like these burst comps that rely heavily on energy. Like this, it's great for like comps like what I'm running right now, where I'm like very reliant on having bursts up for not only more damage, but just for general control. See, now Zhongli's burst is back up again. Sucrose is kind of nuts. Actually, this is probably the Sucrose patch, really. Gotta kill these whopper flowers first, though. Alrighty. Kinda messy, but whatever. Alrighty. Yep, and since Kazuha is EM reliant, he rips through those shields real fast. Yeah, Bennett Kazuha is actually a really good combination. Obviously Bennett's just a staple in a lot of Abyss parties and a lot of vape comps and stuff, but him and Kazuha are kind of nuts together because of you get basically free pyro, or guaranteed, I should say, pyro swirls from everything. And that's mostly because of Bennett's inspiration field, which is already a freaking great skill. But one of the things that is noteworthy about it is since it does infuse pyro, infuse pyro onto the characters like inside the field, and the way Kazuha's skills work, he actually can swirl elements that are on him. So he actually cleanses himself of elements, which is kind of unique. So that's kind of, yeah, that's the unique part about Kazuha. The other thing too is that, well, because of that, yeah, he can swirl the pyro infusion that Bennett gives to characters standing in it. So you always get the pyro. You always get pyro Qs, as well as pyro E plunges with Kazuha, which is really nice for stuff like this. then the just general control of Kazuha is also just kind of insane. Oh yes, I also mentioned this prior, but this is a C6 Kazuha, so every time I use his burst and E, I also get an Anemo infusion for 5 seconds, and also a nice attack buff on his attacks, so this is actually... C6 makes him a really, really strong Lector and Herald killer because of just like the amount of swirl he's getting consistently throughout the fight. So yeah, that's I wouldn't say that's a reason to pull for Kazuha C6 especially, because that's kind of an insane investment, but it's definitely something noteworthy. God. Cryohypostasis sucks. It's the only part that really sucks about this fight. Switch off. Right. Stay close, stay close. That way. That way the frost roots stay within range. That way the always stay close to the cryohypostasis when it phases, so that way the frost fruits launch closer, and that way you can get all three very quickly. Nice and easy. Ooh. Oof. Oh, that's stiff. Alright, nice and easy. 10 and 9 and 10. Once again, there's nothing too crazy going on here. They just added whopper flowers basically, and those are just kind of annoying to deal with in general, so it's kind of whatever. Right, okay. This one, let's switch back to Fischl, since we need her for her off-field DPS. Sucrose. Oops. The only reason I do a specific order is because that's what I'm used to. So, doesn't matter too much, but it is what it is. Oh, also, if you haven't already, I highly, highly encourage you get 3-piece Elemental Mastery for Sucrose. She is currently really freaking busted with that set. Or with that setup currently. We're gonna just do that. Oh, what the heck? Are you... What the heck are those numbers? Okay. 8k autos on him. Okay, that's new. I'm not used to having high auto attack numbers, so that's a new one. I guess I'm gonna have to test that in the overworld as well. We're in different floors. Let's see. Energy recharge, because why not? Go. The healing up as well, so that way they can take care of that easily. Okay. That works. Yeah, Zhongli. It's a bit busted. Or I guess Kazuha is busted in that sense. What? Damn it. Okay. Go. Fuse. Pyro. Nice and easy. Ooh. But yeah, I will say, before I didn't roll straight for Kazuha C6. I did wait a few days. I did kind of try to do like 2 constellations every few days, or every other day, I guess, basically. But I did notice, and I think a lot of other people noticed as well, like Kazuha C2 is basically when his biggest power spike comes. He really does his best at that point, and then everything else beyond that is pretty much like gravy. But I will kind of go through his constellations at the end real quick, just for that, and just like general impressions of him as well. But yeah, he's a very good unit. That's all I can really say for now. It's just like he seemed like his kit seems very simple, but it's very effective at what it does, and like he's not as flashy. Well, he's pretty flashy, but like I guess in comparison to other characters, it's like okay, this guy's got some nerve, I guess. Let's go. Take care of one. Oh, no, no, no. Trying not to use his burst there because I really want it for the next part. Okay, the fact that he can freaking pull the Geovia ships, is nuts. That shouldn't happen. Like I get they're not supercharged, but still, like for him to pull them from that range together so quickly is kind of insane, honestly. Alrighty, almost there. Fischl. Where's this cryo mage? Needs to die first, because she's the only one that can delay me. Alright, perfect. I have all my energy. Got all the energy I need for the next last part. Oh, I just realized my teams are wrong. It'll be fine, probably. Yeah, my teams are wrong because the Lecter's on the first half of Chamber 3, not the Herald. Oops. Oh well. That'll be fine. Probably. If not, I'll just reset. Okay, do this. Ah, crap. Take out the mages.
姿を見て戻れ安全距離痛い吸引テスト開始7号式モジュール6308式ユニット
I think I'm gonna have to reset.
無双の風安全距離確認クラピス
Well, actually, maybe. Let's try it.
7号式モジュール
Okay, that's done. Dang. Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch over. Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch teams. I don't think, yeah, I don't... well, it's close, but it's like off by too much, I think. Yep. That was my mistake. I wasn't really thinking. Oh well, it's fine. Shit happens. But now I think about it, do I have Fischl on? Now I think about it, what bow does Fischl have right now? Oh. Yeah, no, I need you on this right now. That might also help, though Ally Hunter's really great on her. No denying that, but I really need the extra elemental mastery right now just to shred the shields faster. There we go, that looks better. Boom.
超拡散系安全距離6308式ユニット。西洋鍋無能 吸引テスト開始。7号式も姿を見。生成ルテン。
消えろ。無能。ここだ。はっ。知れ。
Yep. Right, gotta remember, gotta switch to Xiao after he phases.
風の湯。それ、そこだ。岩山八九。せい。それ。せい。はっ。雲が。借りなく。
降参しなさい。せっ。
風をし。はっ。そこだ。みんなは俺が回す。風の歌。雲の湯。天理チョーク。
取るに足らないわ。その命いただいたわ。はっ。
前せいふっはっはっ。
Go. Actually, yeah. Even though this blessing isn't direct damage increase, it does make it so your bursts are way more reliably. So I guess that is a damage increase, especially for burst rotation comps. All right.
安全距離確認。吸引テスト開始。6308超拡散形態。影のカラス戻れ。まずぐよ。えい。もっと吸引テスト開始。吸引テスト開始。6 100。生成ルテン。
無駄だ。イエイ。
安全距離確認。無双の風。夜の権限。戦法開け。
ワーメイクガン。ここだ。無能。
Wow.
ここだ。無能。無能。逃がさね。ここだ。ひゃっ。くだらない。
諸行無常。6308安全距離。
行くぞ。
黒き翼よ。
There we go. Didn't really want to burn ulti again, so let's see. Let's see what we got. Alright. This feels correct.
全力攻撃。風の行く先。もみちばを散らまくを。
待ちなさい。
天道、ここにある。剣女盤石。
さようなら。無駄な努力をやめたら。
みんながそばにいてくれ。はっはっそれそやよ。ほれはっや天理チョーク。雲が借りなくよ。風よせいはっ。
いや降参しなさい。取るに足らないわ。
燃えろ。みんなは俺がはっそれはっせいよはっ。
There we go.
在の我が名はドワクシンくんない7号式モジュール
消えろ。ここだ。ここだ。無能。ここだ。無能。ここだ。はっ無能。ここだ。くだらない。
触れるわ姿を見せよ6308式吸引6308式ユニット超拡散形態影の殻
へっひゃっくらえはっ西洋鍋私に神聖を終焉の審判ざれごと
研究
Ah, boy.
失敗しちゃっ
Ooh, that was rough. Okay, that's not good. I need Sucrose for the last half. We'll do this. Let's do it again. Run it back.
難攻不落みんながそばにそれもみ違う知らん
無駄な努力をやめたら諦めなさい
天道ここにある前はっふっはっふっ風の糸雲の糸みんなは俺がままくらえ
その命いただいたわ無駄な努力をやめたら
と風よ天道万象これはっせい全力攻撃だ
諦
くらえ前
Oh, that guy's not dead still. That's fine.
いや血で血を洗おうかしらはっと降参しなさい
風よはっふっ剣女盤石やよはっみんなは俺がはっはっはっや天道ここにありはっこれ風よ
It's a lot less time than I'm used to, but we'll see.
アビスに使えよ
安全距離無双の風シミュレート吸引テスト開始
消えろ無能ここだ無能ここだ夜の源源
メガネがこって銭湯開け電源
くだらない
7号式モジュ6308安全距離断罪の名に
西洋鍋ここだ無能
影の殻6308キャ超拡散吸引テスト開始ひゃ
狂乱の波は満ちた
我が名はドワクシンくんなり6308式触れるわけメガネがこってまだ調整する必要がある
Alright. Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna make it with that time. I have to do the first half really properly. It's gonna be one of these type of runs, huh?
岩山八九全力攻撃風のせいそこ雲が借りなく天理チョーク
さようなら
や前
無駄な努力をやめたその命いただいたわ取るに足らないわ
風よそれはっ風の歌空みんながそばにいて燃えろふっ前せいふっはっよっ風よそれはっやせいはっはっせい俺はっみんなは俺がもみちがお散らまる
There we go. 1 minute even. I think. Whatever.
7号式モジュ生成入れてや姿
消えろはっ無能無能はっここだ無能無能無能
吸引テスト開始キュンキュンまた失敗しちゃった
No. Okay. Sucrose, why?
岩山八九みんながそばにいてくれるわ風をそれそ風の雲の天道万象やっはっふん
無駄な努力をやめさようなら
風の赴くふっ全力攻撃だやっふっもみちばおちまいはっはっ天理チョーク
その命いただき取るに足らない
やっはっせいそこみんなは俺がま俺やっまいアビスに使え
無双の風吸引テスト開始
わめくがいいここだせ
夜の剣シャギャン6308式ユニット吸引テストまだ調整する必要
What
が
the heck?
ある
The heck? Got one shot.
岩山八九みんながそばに風を知れふっ風の似た雲の天道ここにあり
さようなら
それそこだ隙あり難攻不落全力攻撃天理チョークはっせいふっ
無駄な努力をやん降参しなさい
新天道地燃えろはっみんながそばにはっはっはっはっふっもみちばおちまいそれふっ天道ここにあり
Okay.
断罪の6308式超拡散系戻れ
消えろここだイエ無能無能無能はっここだ無能
黒き翼よは
ひゃっへっイエ
戦法開け権限せよ安全距離
わめくがいい無能ここだ行くぞ無能
姿を見せ吸引テスト開始7号式モード
無駄で
6308式へい影のカラス
西洋など邪魔するイエここだ
開始。我が名はドワクシン君なり。無双の風。断罪の名に。6308式ユニット。生成いるて。夜の源源。
There we go. There we go. All good. Let's get a finished. Probably took a lot longer than I anticipated, but you know what? It's kind of whatever. At least the information is right and clear is still there. I did it with 36. I cleared all 36 anyway the first time, so it's nice to prove that I can do it again. Alright, so let's go over Kazuha real quick. So these are my Kazuha's stats. You'll notice the attack is very, very low, but that's okay because the elemental mastery kind of makes up for it. I only have 2 elemental mastery pieces currently for him, which, I mean, I would like the third one for his helmet, but I haven't gotten it yet. For now, he's running... Excuse me. For now, he's running a crit rate headpiece, so that's why his crit rate's pretty high. Crit damage is pretty okay. I'm surprised he even has this much, considering I don't think I have that much crit damage. But it's kind of whatever. But yeah, right now he's running Iron Sting, but I've seen many other videos, especially JP videos, running him with Sacrificial Sword, which is, and the logic behind running Sacrificial Sword is to get a reset on your E, obviously, and that'll actually generate a huge, gives you a very, very, very nice burst combo. The general idea is E reset, then E, then into burst. You should have more than enough energy to do your burst, and then E again, and that combination of attacks is just big burst numbers. But it's kind of more for like main DPS Kazuha. So you're running attack percent watch plus like a crit damage, like headpiece, and then probably an Anemo cup at that point. But I say a lot. I'll just say it doesn't really matter with Kazuha because the EM version of him with as much elemental mastery as you can stack is probably his strongest variant, and it's also good for sub DPS. Yeah, so right now it's just 2 elemental pieces and then crit rate, but I did have some pretty decent crit damage, I guess, and crit rate rolls, so that's why he's running that. This is a C6 Kazuha, but I think a lot of people figured out very quickly that the C1 and C2 are probably his strongest like power spikes. The C1 especially for the reset on his Chihaya Budu whenever he does his burst is huge, and that contributes to that Sacrificial Sword combo that I was talking about earlier. And then the C2 just increases his elemental mastery even further, and as well as parties. So this makes him a very, very, very good buffer, off-field buffer as well, and for himself. Constellation 3 is the level up one for his E. 4, I will say, is a pretty okay utility one. It's not really useful in the context, like for this part, when gliding he gains energy. It's not really useful in Spiral. The first part is, whenever he uses Chihayaburu, he gains energy back, which is fine. But once again, if you're running the sack sword on him, it's kind of like overkill on the energy. I guess in that sense, it's okay because it's like you always get your burst up, so that's nice, I guess. But for his EM variant, this is a bit more. This is probably a little bit more important if you're running full EM on him. Say you get the current banner sword for him. What was it? I forget the name of the current five-star sword that's on banner for him right now. But yeah, if you have that and you have this, it's probably much better. Level Constellation 5 is the +3 levels for his burst. Pretty damn good overall, but it's C5, so it should be very good. And then C6, this one is very interesting. At first I thought it was a little weird, considering he's fully EM, but now that this is the second run through of Spiral with him, and getting this infusion is actually pretty big. That way he can continuously swirl shred those Lecter and Herald shields very consistently. And then the second part is the biggest part though, converting his elemental mastery into additional damage, or into more damage for his normal charge and plunge attacks. So this is actually the biggest one for him. And this is probably gets even more monstrous when you do the main DPS variant of him with Sack Sword. So yeah, it's very strong, but once again, it's locked behind C6. C6 is supposed to be the strongest passive that the character gets. I think right now, if you are thinking of getting Kazuha and you're thinking maybe going beyond just C0, C2 is where, C1 is great, and then C2 is where he peaks, I think. C6 is, of course, another, power spike, but you have to get through all of this just to get that, and I don't think it's worth it for most people. For me, I kind of simp him, so he will be the C6 for Inazuma characters. I basically am aiming to get one C6 character for each region. So for Liu, it was Zhongli. He's my C6 for Liu. For Inazuma, this will be Kazuha. I'm interested in Ayaka, and I'm kind of interested in Yomiya too, just to see, because, Pyro and Cryo, probably DPS characters, they'll probably be very strong, but for me, Kazuha is more my speed. His playstyle is also very fun, just pulling in all those mobs together and just plunging on top of them is just very, very fun. I will say, yeah, unfortunately you cannot run Kazuha and Sucrose in the same party. MiHoYo put out an official statement saying that these buffs that they got do not stack, so yeah, kind of makes sense, because otherwise it would be infinite buff scaling. And yeah, I would say Kazuha is very, very strong. He doesn't have a bad matchup currently. Initially, I thought Geo Bishops would be probably a bad matchup for him, but that doesn't seem to be the case from what I've seen, and from what I've ran now, because he can still CC them, surprisingly, with the Holdy. He can still CC them with the Whirlwind before they phase, and then for the Geo Bishop hatchlings, you can also still CC them as well and rip through them. The only problematic mob in Spiral for Kazuha right now is the Ruin Hunter in 12.1.3. Wait, which one is it? 3? Yeah. 12.3? Oh, I can't remember. No, it's 11. That's what it is. 11.3.1. That was why I was like, this is probably wrong. The only problematic matchup he has is the Ruin Hunter because the E launches him into the air. The Ruin Hunter detects that and actually goes airborne. So he'll be airborne outside of Kazuha's range, and there's nothing really you can do about it if you're just playing Kazuha. You would need to have an archer to take down the target for him, or have someone else like Ningguang or Yanfei or another like more elemental focused DPS like bring down the Ruin Hunter first, and then Kazuha can be used after that. I'd say that's kind of the only bad matchup. Kazuha is really freaking strong against both the Lector and the Herald. He's best if you're really struggling against either of them, like use Kazuha. Like you will just watch them melt, especially with this current setup of Spiral, because you get the swirls very easily. You can swirl the shields out very quickly. And then also, like I mentioned before, if you're running, ideally, you're running Kazuha with Bennett for the free Pyro Infusion from the Fantastic Voyage field, and that way you always get Pyro Swirls, which will shred both the Lector and the Herald shields very quickly. So that's my recommendation if you're having any trouble with the Lector and Herald in the current Abyss, is to use Kazuha plus Bennett, or just that in general is really good. But yeah, got C6 Kazuha. He's really great, but I'll probably change up my parties. Well, I'll be working on several other characters now since I actually have new characters to level in this end. So maybe my teams will be shifted around next Spiral. Probably, maybe not. We'll see. Depends on how fast I can get the resources for them. But yeah, Kazuha is super fun. If you are thinking about him, try him out in this trial. But yeah, 100% would recommend this character. He's really great. As a side note, every single one of his voice actors in both the CN, the JP, and the English one, they're all great. Like, this is one of the few characters where I'm like, oh, I like every single one of his voices. So I guess there's that. It's hard to beat that. But yeah, for me, always JP voices. But yeah, right. Something I have to test later on, which I might just do like a quick highlight about it, is testing Bennett and Kazuha's infusion with the field, because it looked like Kazuha was getting a lot of like extra like attack damage from it. But yeah, what do I think about Inazuma? Inazuma looks gorgeous. It's going to be really nice having another region unlocked with more story. I'm actually looking forward to the story more than anything else. Of course, like, the designs are great and everything, and I'm looking forward to all the new characters. Looking forward to finally seeing Ayaka and the two other characters they mentioned, Sayu and Yomiya as well. Actually, what's funny is if you on the JP Genshin YouTube channel, they often do like interviews with all the voice actors. So they had one. Kazuha's just went up not too long ago, And actually, in there, he mentioned, the voice actor himself mentioned, when talking about Kazuha, that he referenced one of Kazuha's like links is Goro, and they actually showed a blacked out silhouette of Goro himself on the stream. So if you are interested in a potential like official kind of like breadcrumb, you should go to the JP Genshin channel and look out for Kazuha's voice actor and look for Goro. I think it happens at around 12 minutes. So it looks like a cat boy. So we'll see. I mean, I'm assuming it's a boy because Goro is pretty male for a name, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to all of Inazuma really, because yeah, like Raiden Shogun is going to be an interesting character, I think, because she will probably be the first Archon that's actually fully antagonistic to us. Because Venti, he was wary of us, but realized like we were the only ones capable of saving his friend Devalin, so he became our ally. And then Zhongli was trying to play a very back supporting role in the Liu story, and he wasn't really antagonistic to us. He was mostly just sitting back and watching the chaos ensue, sort of, and then revealing at the end this was all kind of part of his deal with the Cryo Archon, to give away his Genosis and to test the people of the U to see if they would be able to survive without him there, which was proven, which was nice. But yeah. Oh yeah, the other thing about Kazuha is his exploration is freaking fantastic, because you can use his E mid-air and get more airtime. So that's nice. And he also has a sprint passive, so it's even better. I think, yeah, if anything, having Kazuha for your exploration parties is gonna be freaking great. Yeah. Well, this one's going a little longer than normal, but it's kind of fine. It's whatever. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, for Kazuha, I would say probably some of his better like team comps or like people to run him with. Obviously Bennett, for the reasons I mentioned before. I would also say Barbara, to get Hydro Swirls, and then if you do like an electrocharged type comp, I haven't really seen people doing those, even with the buffs to Electro and EM as well, but I'm curious to see like a comp with like Kazuha, Barbara, Beidou, and Fischl, where they just continuously electrocharge, or like switch Fischl with like Jinkyu or Beidou with Jinkyu or something like that, where you get a lot of like Hydro Swirls on everything, so that way you get a lot of chain lightnings, so that would be good. And then also probably kind of also similar, like a permafreeze comp with him, so Kazuha, Barbara, then Kaya, Rosaria, just to keep everything like get the Hydro Swirl and then freeze everything and then permafreeze them, keep them frozen for a very long time, or just, yeah. So I think those two comps would be interesting to see, and I think if that's the case, then that he kind of makes up for what that permafreeze comp lacks, which is gathering consistently. I mean, Sucrose, I think you can use Sucrose in those comps as well, but I think for Kazuha, since like Rosaria and Kaya are kind of short range, and close melee range, like Kazuha with his pull-in makes good use of that. And what's nice about his Vortex, unlike Venti's puts the enemies really, really high, up in his vortex, but Kazuha's, it's basically character height, so you can actually attack all the mobs in the hurricane. So that's quite nice. So we'll see. I'm sure more information will come out and more theory crafters will put out more stuff as time goes on. I think just overall, Kazuha is a great character. If you're gonna go for constellations, stop at C2. I don't think it's really worth it right now to go to C6, unless you absolutely love the character, like I do. But C2 is the best. Sack Sword, Iron Sting, or that. Or if you can, get the... what is this sword called actually? Freedom Sworn. Okay, I wasn't too off. So, Freedom Sworn, because, yeah, this sword is basically designed for him. Like, everything about the sword is designed for him. So, would recommend if you can get it. If you can't, the Skyward Atlas is actually not a bad... I think it's considered one of the best catalysts in the game with it because of its passive. So even if you lose the 50-50, you get a really, really strong catalyst. And I think both of those weapons are future-proof. So yeah. Alright, gonna end the stream there. Thanks for watching.